Hello again and welcome back to the Fat Hipster channel. It's me, John, and today we're going to be reviewing two ramen bowls or cups. And the last time I showed you two cups from Totino's company owned by General Mills that makes party pizzas and pizza puff pockets rolls. Today, we're going to go to another General Mills sub company that also put out two cups of ramen bowls or cups, and that is, you guessed it, Old El Paso. You know, the company that makes salsa that's not made in New York City. We have two flavors. The first one is Fajita, and the second one is beef Birria. So we're going to taste it, and then I have some other things that I'm going to try it with. So here we go with the first one. The first one we're going to try is the fajita one. Alright, so let's take this lid off. These are using the exact same type of fettuccine noodles that the Totino's used. So again, I do not consider this to be ramen. It could be instant noodles. Fettuccine is a noodle. But to me, this is not ramen. Ramen is a specific type of noodle, which this is not. We're going to give you a close-up of the bowl. You'll see. Nothing too special about it. It has tomato, onion, bell pepper, and garlic as dehydrated vegetables. It also has a chicken broth. So it is a chicken flavor, even though it doesn't say specifically. This is a chicken fajita flavor. As far as anything really spectacular about this, it does say salt, it does say paprika. It has the non-MSG MSGs, which is disodium and arsenate and disodium guanylate. Oh, there's also lime juice in here. Interesting. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. First thing I'm going to do is just take a little sip of the broth. It's still steaming hot. Okay. What flavors am I catching? A little bit of garlic, some spice, maybe some cayenne or some red pepper in there. There's a sweetness, maybe that's from like the bell pepper. Oh, this one also says, I just noticed that, it has a 2-pepper medium. The Birria has no peppers at all on there, so it's not even on the list. But they do want to tell you that this is medium, which usually means it's a little bit spicy, more than just a mild. I am getting some spice. Like I said, there's like a red pepper or a cayenne in there. Not overwhelmingly spicy. This one, the soup does get a little bit thick, so hopefully that means it'll cling to the noodle some. And when we scoop some out, we'll get a nice flavor to them. None of these noodles stayed very long. They all kind of either broke or maybe they're just not made very long. Now, what differentiates like a fajita spice from like a general taco Mexican flavoring? I don't know for sure. But this has that going. It has a spicy, garlicky, oniony, like it has garlic powder, onion powder in there probably as spices. It has some kind of red pepper in there. And the dehydrated bell peppers does add a little bit of sweetness to it as well. I didn't see any added sugar in there, and there's only 4 grams of sugar total in this, which is probably somewhere in that vegetable pack situation, the tomato, bell pepper is probably where that sugar grams are coming from. Let me get one of these. Those are little bell peppers. Alright, so the soup base from here, I'm not really getting a lot of chickeniness, but there is some salty savory in there. The spice is good. I'll say that the flavor from the soup out of this is not bad. If you were going for that fajita flavor, this could work. Again, just like the Totinos, what really hurts these bowls are the noodles themselves. They don't taste good. They taste like paper or cardboard. The fact that they're like flat and wide kind of like gives you the feeling of little cardboardy cuts. And the flavor is just that bland, papery kind of flavor and texture. Not good. But the flavoring, the broth in this, pretty good. It sticks decently to the noodles, which because the sauce in here is a little bit thicker. Alright, let's move on to beef birria. Now, a lot of people might argue that birria should be goat and not beef. And though I think that originally birria was made with goat, birria does not necessarily have to be made with goat. And I say that just because I've been to enough Mexican restaurants that if someone's going to be the one that knows if birria should only be beef or goat, it would be them and not some guy who looks like me. And I'm going to go with what they think. And though I've had both goat and beef birria, there's really not that much of a difference. It's very braised down, so that means very tender either way. And the broth is really like spicy and meaty either way. You might have a preference one way or the other, but I'm here to say it doesn't really matter to me. There is no real beef in here. There's beef broth, but there are these textured soy protein pieces that kind of look like beef. Let me get you a close-up of the bowl. There you go. It's a little bit more dark brown. The fajita one had a little bit more of a red color to it. This one's more dark brown, probably to emphasize the beefiness. Let's give it a little mix. And this one's a little bit more watery than the fajita one. Now let's see if there's any big differences in here. The vegetables are carrot, bell pepper, onion, tomato, and garlic. I think the only difference is this has carrot in it, and the other one did not. There's less sugar and only 3 grams. I would think carrot would make it sweeter because carrot's a pretty sweet vegetable. There is the soy protein, textured soy protein. Spice. Oh, there's apple cider vinegar and distilled vinegar, so there should be a little bit of a sour kick to it. Beef broth, citric acid, lime juice. Alright. They both have lime in it, but this one has 2 different types of vinegar, so I'm going to give it a little sip, see if I can get that pungent sour tang from here. It does hit a little sour. I wouldn't call this tangy at all. But knowing that it has in it and I'm looking for that flavor, it does have a bit of a vinegary sour kick to it, but it's really light. The main thing that I'm thinking when I taste this is it's really like beef forward. The spice is way down compared to the fajita one. Typically when I've had birria with the beef consomme, it's not brown like this, it's red because it's beefy, but it's also spicy. And this one kind of tastes like a Mauritian beef, and you put like a cap full of vinegar or lime juice in it. It's just like beefy and just like a little bit of tang. Enough tang that you wouldn't notice if you weren't looking for it, I'd say. Let's give it a scoop of these noodles. This one, you can just tell the soup just is not clinging to the noodles, which also affects that flavor. With that one, where the flavor is clinging to the noodles, you get a spicy, savory flavor. This one, you only get that papery cardboard noodle flavor. Well, I'll say this. Interestingly, it does retain a little bit of that vinegar flavor, but most all of the savory beef notes don't carry. So, again, like I did with the other one, I'll choose the one that I think is the best. And for this one, it is the fajita noodles. And again, like the previous one, the better one has a more thick soup. The Totino's one, the buffalo chicken one, was thicker. That one was the better one. This one, the fajitas, is the one that's thicker, and it's the better one. I don't know, like, what is in here that's different that would make it thicker. This one has modified food starch. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that food starch that's been modified somehow is helping that thicken up. Now, like I said before, I'm going to try something interesting with one or both of these, depending on how it goes. I think I'm just going to do the fajita one because the birria one was just so disappointing. If you remember, for my Totino's ones, I compared them to a Totino's pizza roll. Well, Old El Paso doesn't make any kind of rolls that I know of. The closest thing I could find was these. And these are bean and cheese nacho rolls. So nothing like either one of these, but the closest thing I could find. And these are made by that organic brand. That's a female name that I can't think of. Is it like Nancy or something like that? Tell me in the comments. I have the box back there. I definitely looked at it, and I definitely don't remember. Let's just try one of those. The filling is fairly beany and cheesy. The wrapper is very different than Totino's. It's more doughy and pillowy, not crispy at all. I'm not going to do anything else with this, just I don't think that'll go. But for the fajita, I'm going to make a fajita. I have tortillas. Put one on this plate here. I'm going to move a few things around since I don't. I do all this in one shot, so no cutting away to set this up. Tortilla on a plate. We're going to put some shredded cheese as a base. This is just mild cheddar, nothing too crazy. I'm going to put down some leftover taco meats that I had from some tacos I had last week. Okay. On top of that, I'm going to add some of this fajita noodle thing. from Totino's. And to top that off, we're going to do a little green onion. I have a little green onion canister here that I've chopped previously. These are really just leftover things. I didn't really prepare anything additional for this. A dab of sour cream. Maybe like a couple dollops. What else? Some sliced jalapenos. Let's see, 3 of those. And then lastly, just some taco sauce or hot sauce. There we go. And it's voila, we have a taco fajita, El Paso fajita bowl of noodles turned into a fajita or taco. Don't know the culinary definition that makes one the other or whatnot, but I rolled it up in a tortilla and we're going to take a bite and see just how tasty it is. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's not dry. Very juicy. Probably because I poured like a bunch of ramen broth into a tortilla. I'll say this, it tastes pretty good, but if I took the fajita noodles out of that, I think it would still be pretty good because I basically just made a rolled up taco and added a little bit of extra noodle to it. That being said, out of these, the fajita bowl was the best one. I do not recommend the Birria one. It's just kind of bland, one note, no spice at all. And again, General Mills, don't call these ramen unless you're going to change the noodle. And I do recommend that you do that and change the noodle. These noodles are bad. They taste bad. They don't hold on to the broth, especially when you're doing the ones like the pizza, the cheese pizza, or the beef birria, where the broth has absolutely nothing that is sticky in it, and there's just pure water. They're not going to stick to these noodles. They barely stick to the one when they're thicker, like the fajita or the buffalo chicken. I really don't recommend any of these 4 right now until they make improvements on those noodles. Some of them have good flavor, but I just think you can find something way better that tastes similar or better and doesn't have those terrible noodles in it. Anyway, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next Fat Hipster review, whenever that is, whether it be fast food, instant noodle, or something completely different. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.